All right, so I'm recording right now. Just want to make sure I'm saying this right too. Yash or Yash? Or
Yash, you got it right.
Yash.
Like
All right,
Spanish Josh.
Yash. All right. Yash Jain or
Yes, Yash
okay,
Jain. Yeah,
Yash
yeah.
Jain. All right. All right. So just start off. Thank you, Yash, for taking the time to speak with us. Yash Jain is the CEO and founder of Hero Trainer, the app that lets you get free in-game rewards and currency for working out. Um, I won't. I didn't say you had a long week. Don't want to keep it too long. I have about roughly 15 questions. So this should go pretty quick. The first and probably the most important question though is how many steps are you averaging a day?
How many steps am I averaging a day?
Yeah.
My step count is actually relatively low. Oh man. For me, I'm probably getting about 4 to 5,000 a day.
What if
Yeah.
I?
So pretty low. So I know, founder of Hero Trainer, not getting in my even my 10,000 steps in. It's a shame. So it's a journey for me as well.
I gotta say, like, so I've been pretty into the app for about 2 weeks now. And what's kind of hurting me is that I guess my gate got longer. So my usual route that used to be like a quick 5,000 is now only about 4,500, and it's starting to bug me. I'm like, what the heck's going on? Like, it's like, yeah, I'm getting a little healthier, a little like it's taking a little less time, but at the same time, like I'm not getting the same steps, and it's kind of it's a weird feeling, like to be proud and also upset at the same time about that.
So you're getting less steps,
Yeah,
or
less steps for the same route. Like I
less steps. Is that like you think that's a bug with the app, or
Oh
like
no, that's
oh
just like I'm getting in better shape. My gait's longer, my strides are longer now.
okay, that's what you're saying. I was like,
Yeah.
what?
Oh
I was
yeah.
like,
No, I'm not blame the app. It's just that it's kind
I
of
see what you're saying. Oh, I didn't even think about that. That your strides get longer and things like that. That would potentially even reduce the number of steps for people. I didn't think about that. So that's a really good point.
yeah. It's kind of like this a self leveling kind of thing. Like so to kind of increase the own skill cap with your on yourself.
Yeah.
But back to my regular question. What's the story of how you came up with Hero Trainer? You know, that Facebook has their whole dorm story. Like, do you have a similar how? What's Hero Trainer story?
Yeah, so I mean, I've been, like a gamer pretty much my entire life, but I've struggled to stay fit, um, just in general. Even right now, like me getting 5,000 steps or like even a day is an accomplishment for me. I would normally like get on a fitness streak for about a week or two, and then just kind of like pretty common story, just kind of teeter off, and I get back into it, and then teeter off. Like I was really trying, and it was just a very frustrating experience. Because on the days you really needed motivation, it just never came through. Like I have like home gym. I've made it as easy as possible for myself, and even with everything set up, it's still difficult for me to even muster energy to work out. So what I did notice was I really cared about my video game character. I would do anything for my video game character, and I assumed I could take that kind of immersion and that excitement for video games and apply it to exercise. But for me, I was like, it's got to be different than We Fit, because the reason those get boring is because you don't want to. It feels like a chore at a certain point because you don't really care about that game anymore. It loses its fun. So I was like, it has to be constantly changing with the games that come out. So you get a new game, you start playing Valorant, you want a gift card for that, or you want Cyberpunk, and when it finally gets all of its features and fixes all the bugs, you're like, you can get points towards that or get the game to that. So you constantly it keeps you excited, just like you would for like a video game, but you're also getting healthy. So you're not really even thinking about getting healthy. You're just doing it because you care about the character. So that's kind of where it stemmed from. I was like, it's got to be we like basically the Pokemon Go for any game. I really loved Pokemon Go when it came out, and it was almost an inspiration. It was a big inspiration to me because it was like during that first week or like month of like Pokemon Go, it was like world peace, you know. People were like walking outside, like going on trails, like there was like just a bunch of different people from different demographics talking to each other. It was like small businesses were booming. It was just crazy. So I was like, I want to get that kind of element back in as well. So I know, you know, as gamers, we generally are, you know, socially isolated sometimes. Like we don't really connect with people outside the room. I mean, we have virtual connections. Physically, you know, that's, you know, there's a big obesity problem in the gaming industry. And I was like, I want to take care of the mental health, the physical health, and social health of gamers, kind of going back to Pokemon Go, but for everything. So that was a long-winded story, but yes, that is
Yeah.
my.
That's great. That answered pretty much my next questions too.
Like interview is now done.
Yeah. So, but you talk about like the physical, the mental, the social. One of my favorite features of Hero Trainer is the guild app, or the guild and social structure of it. How important was that feature to be part of Hero Trainer?
It was definitely one of the first things we wanted to get out because one of the biggest things for exercising is relationships and friendships, or connections to other people. Like you're more likely. There's a reason why gyms really push, you know, refer a friend, or you know, try to get people more interactive with each other. Is because if you establish a friendship, you keep going back because you have friends on the platform as well. You're less likely to leave. You're more likely to do that. So in some cases, you know, that's going to drive business for those companies. But and like the way I like to think about it, it's also a great way to, in this case, we're not, it's a free app. We're getting people to work out and encourage them to show back up, you know, and make it a little bit of a competition, right? Now you're trying to work towards a goal together to beat the other group of people. So if you don't go for a walk, you might be letting your teammates down. But you know, if you continue to walk, you have all the glory to gain from it. So that competition guild element was a big part of it, and getting in like a chat feature was also a big portion of that because there's so many different types of gamers, and I think that was one of my biggest learning when I started Hero Trainer was we have people from like former NFL player Landon Turner, who's a gamer, to, you know, cosplayers, to, you know, like people, just like esports hosts, just like all over the place. Some people you would never expect. So they have these different communities that not only serve as a place to encourage fitness, but also a place where they can further, you know, explore those interests as well.
Awesome. Um, so to bring it back, you were talking about the kind of it's a free app and it's a good way to keep people engaged and everything. But I had to I'm wondering how do you monetize, and as the app grows and more features and everything, demands get higher. Um, like do you plan to ads, currency? Basically how do you monetize the game, or how do you monetize your trainer?
Yeah, so what we're doing right now is I just bought a bunch of GameStop stock, and I'm just using all of that. You know, I'm just holding. No, no. So right now, what we do is we have optional ads that people can watch, and that kind of reduces the cost of some of the rewards right now.
Hmm.
Eventually, we're going to reach a point where we, you know, hit a critical mass of users, where we, you know, it starts becoming very interesting to partners. So partners right now, we have like two partners on the app right now. One is a fitness class, and the other is just a gaming company. And they provide the reward. So eventually our costs will get driven down. Um, and also be like a little bit of affiliate marketing as well. Like we bring these people, a new user to their platform, they might pay us, or if it's a subscription, they'll pay us a portion. But we also have some like premium features that we're going to be releasing to users as well in the upcoming months. Specifically, users are very interested in getting points for not only walking, but a lot of people like do weightlifting or bouldering or swimming and things of that nature. We've held off on releasing it right now because we didn't truly want to encourage people to exercise or like go into a gym or kind of spread COVID, or just kind of, we wanted to be careful about that. But giving people would pay a premium to check in at a gym of sorts and get points for doing any type of exercise. Or there'd be a even higher premium feature where they could work out from home. So those would be like, that would be kind of the way we would monetize it for the immediate future. And then we'll probably be like eventually growing out the gaming portion of the app as well. We have like an avatar system, but right now it doesn't really do anything, but we're going to actually build it out into like a full RPG. You'll have like custom skins, full battle passes, the full 9 yards with that. So we're a bunch of different angles we're looking at monetizing.
Awesome. Hey, that answered a bunch of questions. So going back on the avatar system, I was one of the things I was going to ask about that. You do plan to add more customization options, and but also what's the intention of the different classes? Like currently there's the wizard, I'm guessing the warrior with the shield, and then the archer. What's that leading to?
Yeah, so the goal is to tie that into guilds, and as well as create an individual experience as well, right? So people come onto the app right now and they're like, I check in, I kind of look through the rewards, maybe I chat with people on the guild, but there isn't really too much to do besides that. So what I wanted to do was intertwine those characters and their classes into, say, like the guild leaderboard would now be based on instance events that happen globally to all users, and depending on the assortment of classes you like, the type of character you have and the type of items you pick up for that character, you maybe have a multiplier on the damage or something, or the health you have, your guild has at the end of each day, and then you can move up on the tier based on your battle points or something. For the individual side, we're looking more, some people, it takes them a while to kind of find their way into the guild space, which is why we encourage them to go to our Discord channel first, kind of meet people there, and then go from there to guild, just to prevent, it makes it less likely for just like people online can do some really, nasty things. So it really creates like a filter of sorts. But for the solo play aspect, it would be like you'd have kind of an instance story where you're like, say you walk 10,000 steps, you would have a certain number of events the next day. If you chose, say, a warrior, your journey would be like, fighting enemies, and depending on how many steps you walk, you could do different attacks. Like think like PP from Pokemon, where you have a certain number of stamina to do essentially that certain attack. But if you maybe like down the road, we'll have like a cleric, and their story will involve healing people, or a thief will like stealing stuff. So I mean, it's very open-ended as far as where the direction is going. But we really want to turn it into a game as well. So because we're gamers, so that's kind of the direction we want to go.
That's exciting. I'm pretty excited about that, and I'm guessing that's where the Valor is going to come more into play, because right now it's pretty much just to tier up the characters, but with the additional features and expansions, like that'll probably be where that goes into.
Hmm. Absolutely, yeah.
But go kind of expanding on. Do you plan on more like integration with games? So you say certain fitness games like Ring Fit or like Beat Saber, or even just kind of like including the like you have the different games you can get rewards for, but how including games people are playing into their profiles and stuff like that. Is there plans for more that type of integration?
When you say like integration or like, I mean, like adding them onto our like app as something people can unlock or like get a gift card, or did you have something else in mind? I just want to make sure I understand the question.
So certain games like you reach a certain level in say Apex and you get a skin for your character, or games like fitness games where like if you reach a certain level in Ring Fit, it also carries over and gives you additional or landmarks for your character in um, hero hero trainer.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes, we aren't like we're a very small company, but in the future that'd be really great if we could have partnerships at that level where that go both ways. So like maybe if you play Apex a lot, you get something Hero Trainer. You play here, or if you use Hero Trainer a lot, you know, you get additional. Maybe they have there can be some interface where you can actually directly get coins or experience points in the game that you play. That would be cool.
Oh.
But we are very far away from that, just given our size. So we're just keeping, little tiny, mobile startup, just working our way.
All right. Uh, Here, let me go. Yeah, you answered a bunch of these, so my order's all off right now.
All right, sorry to mess
Yeah,
it up.
it works out. It works out well. It works out well. It's just now I have to like now it's gonna show me reading a lot more.
It's all good. It's all good. I'll be looking at the background. I mean, I really like what you got going on in the room.
Oh yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, very much a nerd collector. Got Pokemon. I finished my Hall of Armor set that took 7 years to complete.
Wow,
Um,
that's dedication. That is dedication, dude.
That one it was supposed to come out 2 pieces a year, but then it got delayed and it ended up taking 7 years. Like so 2014 was when I started that one.
Wow.
Guild feature. I mean, did the partnerships, the monetization, oh, so it's I understand it's really early and it's still building up, but would the at a certain point too, like just like with especially with the whole kind of gamification, do you have a tier system or a skill system kind of like outlined or planned, like it's like new especially with new users, you're limited to like 3,000 steps, and more advanced users are limited to 20,000 steps a day. Just say it's something like Call of Duty, you don't want to be a first time player put in with like a 3 times prestige player. Do you have any kind of plans to kind of separate fitness levels or skill levels with users?
Yeah, yeah. So I think once we start like turning this more into a game, we're going to look at ways to kind of even out, have a tiered system like you would in Call of Duty or pretty much any competitive game, and like an overall like ELO score of sorts. So you get kind of paired up. It kind of would be helpful because it can be discouraging if like someone's walking like 20,000 steps, like beats it just, and you're walking your 3,000 steps and you're like this is and the reason why we do have those limits in place is one is to prevent just immediate like people from somehow gaming the system, and the other aspect is we wanted to not overwhelm people, because like if you feel like you have the room to walk 20,000, then you're going to try to walk 20,000 all at once. And then that becomes very hard to sustain, especially if you just start off walking, like trying to do that. That's about 10 miles,
Yeah.
So we try to get people to tier up, but we are going to have like an ELO ranking system once it becomes more of a game. But right now, I think just focusing on just an overall guild leaderboard is fine for the size the size we have, and it also kind of encourages teamwork and even with newer players as well. I know eventually it's going to start pushing. Eventually, get to the point where you're just guilds are only going to be looking for like high level or highly active people, and that's where we'll have an elo system, which would be very very helpful, like you were saying.
Awesome. And you talk about like Pokemon Go earlier, and it's kind of like influencing getting people, out and about. And personally, I felt a very similar effect with hero training, just because like my friends like, hey, why aren't you doing your steps today and stuff. But Pokemon Go has those like monthly events and stuff like that where, like a Pokemon appears more often. You get the shiny version. Do you have any kind of like monthly or kind of any type of in-app events planned soon, and like what kind of event would that be?
Yeah. So I think right now the low hanging fruit. We kind of played around. We did like a little test run maybe several weeks ago. It was just like a raffle, so that's like the low hanging fruit as far as an event. But we would, when this goes down the route more of a game, it'd be we would kind of want to make it like almost like daily global events. So you would walk your steps for the day, and then when you check in, say in the leaderboard, today there's a gigantic boss fight that comes in. Tomorrow it might be like you have to charm your way through a bar, and like sort of like D&D style, where you're just going on an adventure. You don't really know what's going to come on the next turn or the next event, but there'll be a daily event, and depending on the characters that are in your guild, it would influence the outcome. So I mean, again, this is all like I'm just like talking very imaginative, because we still have some time before we can really integrate that. But we would love to kind of give it a feeling of kind of dynamic and constantly changing, and it keeps it more fresh, and gives people more reasons to come back than just for the rewards.
All right. Just a couple more questions.
Mhm.
Have there been any like standout user experiences or testimonies from hero training that have like really like touched you so far?
Yeah, actually, so when we first launched, one user said he lost 30 pounds in 2 months. And I was like, that's incredible.
That's
And not all of that I want to go completely on the record here saying that not all of that was a result of Hero Trainer. I think what Hero Trainer really does for people is it just kind of gets them a little more cognizant about their lifestyle choices. So, he starts walking more, he starts showing up more to the gym. Starts changing his diet. He starts sleeping on time, a bunch of different things that start to compound into that substantial weight loss. And I think that's kind of what we want to do. For some people, Hero Trainer is going to be the only exercise they do, and that's fine. For other people, it might encourage them to, really take that step and really transform their lives. So that's probably the one that's touched me the most. We had another user who suffered from like some serious nerve damage in her hips, and she used to be really really active, and because of that nerve damage, like she was like struggling to exercise. And she just kind of lost motivation after like going from someone super fit to just, putting on a lot of weight just because for being inactive while they were recovering. So when she was ready to get back into it, she kind of didn't have much motivation, and that, Hero Trainer was able to ignite that motivation for her to get back on track. So I think what we really offer to people is the motivation. But the sky is really the limit as far as what people do with that motivation. So those are the two stories that really stand out to me for transformation.
And kind of just to build off that, what do you hope users take away from Hero Trainer?
I want people to realize that, they're more powerful than they think they are. I think the hardest thing for anything is getting started. And, I remember reading this quote, um, it takes 80% of a rocket's fuel to get out of orbit. So if you get over that big hurdle at the beginning, then it's pretty much smooth sailing from there. But like that, just getting up or just doing that first thing is really hard. So if we can just create that little spark for that person, that's in my eyes, we've won. We've created that spark of, then they begin to realize, oh, it's not so difficult. I can do this. It's not so hard to walk that extra 1,000 steps. Like you begin to realize you can do so much more. And that's kind of what we want people to be aware of, like how capable they are of doing all those things. It sounds hard. It feels hard, but sorry, it doesn't feel hard. It's doable because they aren't thinking about it anymore. But their body's fully capable of doing it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for speaking with us today, Yash. Yeah, big fan of the app. Yeah, my year just broke top 10%, and yeah, we're really into it. And I agree. It is kind of that great motivated, that great first start that gets you going onto that, pushing that first big effort to helping you getting it to do more and more. And yeah, just, again, thank you for your time, and thanks for founding the app.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it was really a pleasure being here, Kevin. And I, hope to speak with you more in the future as soon as we get all the game, get it fully gamified and everything set up. So, thank you again for your time today.
Awesome.